Let's just jump into the daily challenge. So today's clans have me pretty excited. We have the Shorttail Queen and we have Primitive Mold from Remnant. The mutators are Multiplier, your pyre gets multi-strike, Small Hands, -2 cards per turn, and Return on Investment. Spawn an additional collector in battles that already have a collector. So Small Hands is obviously a huge downside. Return on Investment is pretty nice, but it makes it especially important that we actually have a way to kill these collectors. Not just on the second turn, there will also be one on the third turn. The scores today look pretty high. We have scores ranging from 48k all the way to almost 52k. That's a pretty wide range. But that means there should be some flying kills possible. On Seraph at the very least, and if I look at these top scores, then maybe even earlier than that. So, let's jump in and see what we get to play with today. Okay, this is a powerful starting deck with Fledgling Imp, Molded, and Rage Serum. Ooh. Talos with Rage and Armor on Slay. We'll have to see how we deal with that. Probably there will be quite a bit of jump blocking involved, reforming imps and stuff like that. Arcus with Rally and Incant Dark Shards. The Rally one might actually be quite a nuisance for us. And final boss, the Consume Seraph. Okay, let's look at the relic. Memorial Fund. Ooh, that's nice to get this early. The other one isn't terrible, but yeah, if we are doing an imp reform deck, and it certainly looks like we will, Memorial Fund is hard to beat. We already have a decent number of imps. Maybe we go Imperialist here. I'm a big fan of Imp Parade, but it's using a lot of capacity usually. We need to keep in mind that we draw 2 less cards each turn, so maybe we do want the Imp Parade just to have more things to do, because we can generate extra imps this way. Yeah, I don't know, the Imperialist path seems a bit weaker with Small Hands. Seems like it's getting hurt a bit more because you're very reliant on playing your imps every turn to have the damage available. Then again, we have 2 Fledgling Imp, 3 Queen's Implings and 5 Reform cards. So once we manage to play our first imp and have it die, that means most of our deck is gonna be imps. So it's not all that bad. And honestly, killing these imps off is gonna be a pretty important thing for us. But it also makes it weaker to jump block with the imps, because you really wanna keep those alive for the 20 damage AoE. The minus cost on imps is less important because our hand is gonna be not as full. Also, reformed imps cost nothing anyways. And I really want to do an Imperialist run eventually, so let's go Imperialist. It's a pretty close call here. I think either path is solid. Spikes. A little bit annoying. Can we even set up on the bottom floor with a hand like that? This Forged Disciple is gonna be a pain to kill. I want that bottom floor kill though. Yeah, with small hands, it's tough. It's really tough. Oops. I think we gotta skip the bottom floor kill. Also, this Shardtail Queen is pretty decent at getting collectors. I think I want the 20 damage AoE. I kind of need it. Okay, let's bring back a Fletchling Imp. To put it here, it will survive, so we can get the AoE off. We are taking 3 damage here. And we can actually prevent this by playing an imp behind her, so she sacrifices the imp instead of hitting the enemies. Feel like we want to train Steward as a blocker. It's 10 damage. How much more do we need? 11 damage. So yeah, there we go. Not a bottom floor kill, but good enough for me. For this first fight. How hard do we want to go into imps? I think decently hard, especially because we have Memorial Fund as well. I feel like a Welder Helper could be nice to have. Ritual of Battle is also a reasonable choice, especially if we're not drawing that many cards. That allows us to spend a lot of Ember on one card, which can be nice sometimes. And we already have quite a bit of Rage, so we are incentivized to pick up Rage synergies anyways, which makes it a bit more interesting to pick up Ritual of Battle. Ooh, this guy managed to get the bottom floor kill without taking damage, according when looking at his score. Pretty nice. So it was possible. I think I'm gonna go Welder Helper for here. The armor is gonna be very important. I feel like the draft is huge. Buffing up the draft with these rage units might be good. But only if we get enough burnout onto him. Maybe I should just go with the Dripfall. Dripfall seems better. That's gonna be very helpful in getting flying boss kills. I really want a rage synergy unit, but actually in Hellhorned there aren't that many. It's basically only the Range Brute. There are no multi-strikers. But we could get multi-strike here from the Merchant of Steel. What's a good remnant unit? Not sure either. Harvest? Harvest would actually be a good mechanic to use. Sure, I think we can go to the right. Get some spell upgrades. Although the spell upgrades aren't gonna be amazing. A harvest unit would be kind of nice though. A multi-strike unit would also be nice, and what's the next Merchant of Steel? It's only after Daedalus, Arcus. Not Arcus, Talos. Yeah, I think we gotta go to the left. Feel like I need to find a decent unit. Branded Warrior is actually okay. That's kind of a rage. Kind of a rage synergy unit. I wanna upgrade the Fledgling Imp with Burnout. Wait, that's unnecessary. Habits. Usually that's pretty good, but we don't need it with the Shortail Queen on Imperialist path. Unless we feel like playing this imp on a different floor. Is a Battlestone on Branded Warrior really all that good? I need some defense on him. 10 health, 15 health might not be enough. It's gonna be enough for now, but it's not gonna be enough for later. So the other two ways are Hearthstone or the Large Stone. I don't want Large Stone because that takes away capacity for imps. So I'm gonna take the Battlestone. There's the Large Stone, but I really don't want it right now. Is Wickstone any useful? I mean, it's still a stat buff and a burnout buff, but neither of those really matters on the imps. Honestly, what I could see is extra health on an imp, so we can block more hits, and then it's gonna get sacrificed still. I mean, that kind of seems like a reasonable choice. I'm gonna leave an empty slot for potential Endless later. And let's get rid of a Transior. 150 gold should be enough, especially because we make a lot of gold with the Memorial Fund. And the double collectors. Okay. Question number one, how do we deal with the top floor? Answer, we don't. So we're always gonna take at least 3 damage, even if we set up the top floor. Then we're gonna take another 1 damage from the Conduit Infiltrator, and we have a 7 unit floor we have to deal with. So if we draw the Fledgling Imp or the Welder Helper, that's pretty easy, but if we don't, things are gonna get rough. Still better than any other floor we could set up on. This is just tough. It's just not a challenge we are very well prepared to deal with. Yeah, like... we can make the backliner survive. And I mean, we have to, right? That's the only possibility to win this fight at all. Let's bring back the Shortail Queen. Block the hits with her, play the Fledgling Imp. So we AoE the floor. Gets us the Collector at least. With 20 armor we might have a chance against the High Priest. Especially if we remove the Frontliner. That's we deal about an average of 35 damage per hit. So we would need 5 hits. 5 hits would mean we take 21 damage, 25, 30 damage, so we're not quite there yet. Well, that gets us there. That was quite a bit damage to take. 9 damage taken, 2-turn boss rush. That was a very bad battle in terms of score. Hidden Passage, Hornbreak, Fledgling Imp again. I don't think I need another Fledgling Imp. We can just reform the ones we have. I'll take a hidden passage. Floor manipulation is always good in daily challenges. Although it doesn't quite work out as well with imps, because we can't really use it on our own units most of the time. Well, sometimes we can. We can play an imp on our floor and move it up to play another one. Or down. I think this might be a skip. I wouldn't mind a draft, but it's too much work to keep it alive. If we scale rage, and drafts are a bit unexciting. Oh, Scorching Restraints is really good. Scorched Steel is also really good. Scorched Steel is mainly good because we want our imps to survive hit, so we can sacrifice them with a queen. Scorching Restraints is good because we have potentially a lot of units, although the frontliners will usually die to the enemies and the backliners will get sacrificed by the queen. I'll take the Scorching Steel. It's very unusual that I take the Steel over the Restraints, but I feel like it's the correct decision just because we are using the Shartail Queen Imperialist path. The Iceberg. Now the question is, do we have enough floor manipulation to make use of History of the World? I think we do. History of the World is really strong. The only problem with it is that it sometimes hits floor you don't want to set up in. But with Hellhorned Remnant, you have the most amount of floor manipulation tools available, and we already have 2 of them that are pretty good. So I feel comfortable taking the History of the World over the Rail Beater's Hammer. Let's think about this. If we Queen Simpling in the front, and then Welder Helper the Queen Simpling, that would mean the Queen Simpling would survive for an extra 20 damage AoE. We could also just Welder Helper the Shartail Queen, then play the Queen Simpling to kill one. That means the Queen Simpling dies, but we save some armor on the Shartail Queen. And the problem is we are getting these kills before the Branded Warrior gets to slay anything. Let's pop down the train sword on the top because that's always happening. I feel like we want the 20 damage more than the 6 armor. If we play Queen Simpling here, that's 40 damage against the Forged Disciple. Which, yes, it's a kill. The problem with it is that we don't get to slay with a Branded Warrior again. There are ways to work around this, but they are not pretty. Because even if we play the Queen Simpling, it's 39 damage against the Forged Disciple and the backliners get to live. I feel like we should block a hit with the... Actually, the Train Sewer blocks 3 hits because of the extra armor. I forgot about that. Does that change things? Yes, it does. We can keep the Train Sword alive and get the slay on the Forged Disciple, but is that even worth it? It might be worth it because the next wave has 2 Forge Disciples. I'm also gonna send one of those, otherwise our Train Steward on the top floor gets overwhelmed. I want the Welder helper back, I suppose. And one of these Queen's Implings. Hi Rock Bogglesworth. It's going well. As far as I can tell so far. How do we do this? We want to sacrifice at least one imp, but maybe not 2. If we play a Queen's Impling in the front, we can do that. That's gonna have 11 HP, yeah, that works out. There's 13, 20 damage incoming. So 7 goes to the Train Steward, that's fine. Wait, that's already enough to kill everyone? 9 damage plus 34 kills the... Yeah, that is actually enough to kill everyone. Now it's just a question whether or not we want to prevent some... Oh, sorry for that notification sound. I always forget to turn that off before streaming. That's 10 damage against this guy, then another 9, 19, 39. Yeah, that works out. Is there anything I want a hidden passage? Not really. Yeah. Not at the moment. Finally we get some flashling imps. I feel like it's okay to let the Train Steward die. We're not getting any slays this turn no matter what we do, but we get some rage anyways, so... let's actually keep the Train Steward alive by using these flashling imps to block. Yeah, we have a lot of gold. It's a return on investment, and we also have Memorial Fund as our first relic in an imp-focused deck. So it would be a lot of gold. Actually, we can't let her slay the imp, otherwise she gets 25 armor, which is not a big deal. I'm not gonna fly and kill her anyways. And to make things worse, I don't have an Ascent in the next hand. I mean, yeah. Getting these early kills has been tough so far. Can we get another unit to die for the sake of the Memorial Fund? Yes, we can. Sacrifice these imps for money. Not much to think about on this one. The Range Brute, that's really the unit I want. With the History of the World, we don't need capacity at all. We can just go full draw and get back our 5 draws a turn. This seems very tempting, but fishing for multi-strike or endless is insanely good as well. Just because we have 2 huge upgrades we could get from this shop, I am pretty happy going here. Branded Warrior, kind of stands no chance against the Ranged Brute in power level. But we could certainly fit both of them on the floor with the History of the World. But any multi-strike upgrades will certainly go on the Ranged Brute, right? Not necessarily. Branded Warrior actually benefits more from them. And the Ranged Brute could kind of be our tank. Quick is not really what I'm looking for. I'm gonna upgrade the Ranged Brute with health. I think I'm gonna keep the Branded Warrior around. Hi Night Breeze! Yeah, pretty happy with that. The Ranged Brute Transcend Imp combination I got there. No, Transcend Imp doesn't need Burnout. We just have Shardtail Queen sacrificing. We have the Imperialist path after all. I mean, we could put it on anyways, just in case. We don't really need anything else. And in case we ever need to play the Transcend Imp on a different floor, that might be helpful. And it's pretty cheap. We have a lot of gold. We'll generate a lot of gold. Now the question is, do we want to rely? I mean, kind of. I feel like an Imperialist path scales very, very badly. Like, all you want is the first step, and then anything after that is kind of unnecessary. Because the main benefit is actually kill all imp units, and then you kill all backliners on the enemy side. And it only goes from 20 to 30. Like, basically that's about... Basically right now we have about 30 to 50 attack, depending on whether we play 2 imps a turn. We should most of the time be able to play 2 imps, so let's say 50 attack. This one has 80 attack. This one has only 50 attack, but gets plus 10 every time we play an imp. So if we play 2 imps, well, to be fair, this Shardtail Queen deals more AoE damage. Yeah, it's gotta be Rally. I think it's just better. I really don't like the scaling on the Imperialist path. Please give me the bottom floor. Top floor, that's alright. As long as it isn't the middle floor, because that would have been bad. Gotta play Train Steward here. Branded Warrior on the top. All the way behind? Maybe not. I think we want the Branded Warrior to hit before the Shardtail Queen AoEs. Yeah, in this fight we do. Not in every fight though. Currently we're dealing 15. This is another 35, so 50 damage. That's not enough to kill the Clip Defender. So actually we do want him to be in the back. And then... now if we play Welder Helper, the Clip Defender will die before Branded Warrior gets to strike, but we need to play it, otherwise we can't kill the backliners at all. It's a bit unfortunate, but that's how it has to be. Okay, Fletchling Imp all the way in the front, I think. Tank some damage for us. So we're dealing 16. Yeah, that's already way more than we need. Is there anything we want to do with hidden passage here? No. Should have brought back the welder helper first. But might as well play it for an additional rally trigger. There's Transcend Imp, so now things get really crazy. Maybe it's time to start descending the Deranged Brute? No, we won't get him to the bottom anyways. But the Deranged Brute by himself against the boss, that's certainly a possibility. The Transcend Imp has burnout, right? So we could... Oh, never mind, I already spent all my amber. That's another non-bottom floor kill. Get all the rage. At least the boss has haste. Stack Imp, spawn on floor the last 2 turns for the kill. Was worth a try. That could have worked, yes. I should have reformed another imp for an additional 5 gold, I forgot. 1000 climb. Impressive. Yeah, let's get impressive. Resin removal, subsuming blade, mortal entrapment. That has to be a skip. Give me the spell upgrades. Encased Ember and Mold Braces. Mold Braces kind of works with our deck. That's not too bad. Seems a bit unnecessary. Feel like we should cost reduce the Ascent Descent cards and try to find holdover. Which one is better? Probably Dripfall. It depends. Probably Hidden Passage, actually. I am gonna buy that spell power, even though I'm not sure if it's actually worth it. We don't want to double stack anything. It's not worth the extra cost. 200 damage is impressive, but no. I feel like we want to cost reduce the impressive as well. And let's buy a Perch. We haven't had too many of those. Awoken, Melting Remnant, Umbra consumable cards. Yeah, we certainly don't need Awoken consumables. Remnant, no, that's always gonna be Hello Dripping, so it's Umbra. And we don't need Pack Mortals at all. Oh, we get another one. We also don't need Wildwood Sap. Yeah, the other 2 clans besides Umbra were always gonna be skips, so... Crystal Cloak. I don't think that should be a problem. I think that should be pretty simple. Give me the second floor. I guess that works. 19 damage coming in. Shuttle Queen first. Branded Warrior behind, and then Train Steward. to block the damage. I kinda wanna move the Sycophant out of the way so the overcharge tank doesn't get buffed, but hopefully we'll just draw into Impressive and kill him. Hopefully. If not, we could always Gridfall. We do have a Train Steward to reform. I only have 3 Ember this turn though, so I need to skip 1 card. I feel like the Queen Simpling has to go on the bottom, at least to kill the backliners. I feel like we have to set up the Range Brute, and then it's between Molden and Dripfall. And I think Molden is just better here. Although, yeah, I mean, we always want to kill the Collector, right? A Rage Slay on turn 1? We could have, but... maybe that was better? We play everything here, so let's look what the mold gives us first. Okay, that's easy. Then Queen Simpling on the top, sacrifice it to get a kill, and finally a Fleshling Imp on the bottom floor. Actually, maybe I should have put the Fleshling Imp behind for the AoE. I definitely should have. That was actually pretty important to get rid of these guys. How do we deal with this floor now? Probably with the Transcend Imp. (31 health). That one will die. But don't we have enough damage anyway after the Fletchling Imp? I do want the Train Steward to stay alive, so block the hit with the Queen Simpling. We play the Queen Simpling first, we also play the Mold up first, obviously. Queen Simpling would actually be good here. We do have a Welder Helper plate though. Let me think about this. I will deal 30 damage to the frontliner. I'll take, I think 11 plus 12, so 23. The Transcendium can tank that. That's fine. So I can easily get a Fleshling in. Play this on the bottom floor. And then go Queen Simpling, Transcend him from the top. Oh, right, we're actually getting the kill on the frontliner right away. And let's put some rage on the backline on here. Now we need some more defense. Maybe we can get back I guess the Fleshling Imp is nice at least. Start with the Queen Simpling, throw it at the boss. This order isn't really ideal, but the most important part is the armor anyways. There we go, that worked out well enough. Imp in a box? That could generate us a few key imps. Like Pyre Jumper. The chance for a Pyre Jumper is already worth it for me. The thing I'm most worried about is not having the Ascents at the right time. So I feel like... Then again, Relics are a really big boost to a deck like this. I think we should go relics. Okay, that solves our rainbow problems. Unbroken Horn. That would allow us to pick up a pretty decent X cost, like a spike of the Hellhorned, perhaps. Train Steward and maybe a primitive mold actually. No, let's get rid of all the Train Stewards first. And onwards to Arcus. I want the middle floor this time. Top floor is actually not ideal, but with this setup, with this thing being on the middle floor, I'm not too sad about it. Branded Warrior should probably be in front of the Shortail Queen this time around. That's 110 damage. This is a bad turn for Hidden Passage. We reform the Queen Simpling. His cards don't do a whole lot this turn, right? Yeah. Basically not worth playing any of them right now. Okay, this is a good hand. What's available here? Just a Queen Simpling. Transcendent is not actually that great yet. We wanna get the Slay. We need to play the Transcendent first. And all the way in the back. Actually, we can play the Welder Helper first. That's at least some payoff. Oh! No, that didn't work. Now we are missing some damage on Arcus for no reason. Finally a Fleshling Imp, that's nice to see. How do I want to play it? Not in the front, I don't think. I want the armor under the Range Brute. Shouldn't play them in the back either. That works out. We get the Slay. Okay, now we can start to go off with these Fleshling Imps. Should have played the primitives. Never mind, that worked out perfectly. It's definitely Fletchling and Transcend Imp on the top floor. How much damage are we dealing? 50? I wish I had 10 more. Well, this isn't too bad. Definitely Fletchling first. Yeah, maybe it's time for Branded Warrior to be in front. Oh, I should have played these first, right? Missed a chunk of rage from the Fletchling. Give me an Ascend. No, not this turn. Next turn. It's still in the deck, that's nice. We do have a reasonable chance of getting it. Higher jump ball, that's so unnecessary. Let's just throw it on the bottom floor. Let's bring... once again, first primitive mold, so I have a higher chance of getting the imps I want. Yeah, this is definitely fledgling endless. Actually, Welder Helper first. Oh! He came to the top of his own free will. And plays the blinding dark shot there, so I can't do anything. Outplayed. Well, I can ascend the overcharge tank, but that's not gonna be enough. Oh, this blinding dark shot counters me so hard. It's really unfortunate. Otherwise, I could have probably killed both the frontliners. If I played the Queen Simpling, then the Transcendent, the overcharged tank would die. Then I could Impressive the Sycophant. And this would give me yeah. 2, 4, 700, 800, almost 900 damage, which wouldn't be enough, so. Now the problem is that Hidden Passage won't be in my hand for a while. Actually, our deck is really small. It's not gonna be a big problem. I just think we send in our strongest warrior against Arcos with Threadfall, so we can get the kill next turn. Once again, hung order, as usual. How much extra rage we get with warrior top in front? Not that much, because warrior has been getting kills pretty consistently. I mean, I could try it, but honestly, with that dark shot timing, it's impossible to get a flying kill there. Actually, I don't want a daze, because I do want to get the kills. The unit deaths for Memorial Fund. In fact, I should even ascend you. So you get sacrificed by the Queen. That sucks. I think we're pretty much out of the race. Unless we get a really early Seraph kill, which is possible with this deck. Like a really early Seraph kill. Turn 2 or 3 maybe. Snap pick Ashes of the Fallen. Multi-strike for our branded warrior. Okay. And then we keep a lot of gold. And optimize our deck to get the flying kills. His Queen Simpling can go out. Actually, having some Queen Simplings is not bad, because that's another trigger to Transcend Imp that can help make the path to the boss clear. I'm gonna remove a primitive mold instead. It's another rally upgrade, even though this one is a bit less impactful. Oh, History of the World triggered on the bottom floor, so nice. But this first wave will be tough. I still think the Range Food wants to go in front of the Sharptail Queen. Oops, we have the unbroken one. I shouldn't do things like that. How do we? We have the welder help, alright. So think that's the only way to get the collector reasonably while not ruining our setup. Welder helper definitely needs to go out. And the Queen Simpling that doesn't die immediately on the top floor. Okay. Things are okay. Boom. Bring back the welder helper again. Do we need more rage or more armor on this floor? I think more armor is more important. So we can deal with the... Doesn't actually work out that well. Still don't get a Slayer with the Branded Warrior, but we will soon. Ooh, another Fledgling Imp. Let's play these Fledgling Imps here. And we welder helper can send him. Rage Serum. Last stand. These are some nice numbers. See what we can get with primitive mold. And with molded we can get a fledgling imp. I could have done that a little better, but it doesn't matter because we are super powerful anyways. Just play more imps so we get more money. Imps that burn out immediately are nice. Wait, this imp doesn't even get sacrificed. That won't do. We need to sacrifice these imps. It's gotta be Tiresome Climb at this point. The Ascent is so important for me. This is Kip. Definitely left. Collection of tails I don't really care about. Check strips, melting spots, these are bad. Resonant shard. It's pretty much the only thing I care about here. Consume, remove the last stand? No. We don't need to play it multiple times. We will not get to this to the point where that actually makes a difference. I just want a higher density of floor control spells at this point. So we can hit Seraph more easily. Yeah, here we basically need a very early kill. And a turn 1 kill is impossible. Top floor. Well, nothing we can do about that. Consuming the Tires on Climb for ascending the Purifier is worth it, actually. We don't have a dead unit yet. This guy just hits the frontliners anyways. But then again, we need to be able to take out the Gilded Wing pretty soon. This looks bad. I feel like we don't have the right draw. Maybe? Scholar. Give me Scholar. That's a Scholar. Okay. That makes some things possible. That could result in an instant win. Pretty much. I feel like we might need the space on the top floor, so I'm gonna play these fleshling imps here on the bottom. Actually, this one in the front. And then we transcend imp. We should probably ascend Seraph beforehand. And we should probably... no, that takes away Ember we might need. Okay, we got Imp in a Box back again. Okay, that's it though. Brings this guy high enough to one-shot the Gilded Wing. I do want that Scholar to die, I do want that Fletchling to die. Maybe I just keep this. Send this guy and turn. I shouldn't have ascended him. No, it's okay. It might not be okay. It might not be okay. No, the next time we can hit Seraph, actually, we should be able to win. Did Scholar die? Scholar died. Don't really want to burn this, but I think I have to start with getting back Scholar. I'm fishing for a Pyre Jumper. We got back the Molder. That's useful at least. But too many Welder Helpers. Welder Helpers don't do anything in this fight. We got back the Imp in a Box again. Oh, Pyre Jumper plus Scholar? Oh, you shouldn't have. Okay. I should always play the Rage Serum as well. Fire Jumper plus Collar. Play this again. Get this guy out of the way because I intend to kill Seraph next turn. Play these remaining imps. And another Rage Imp. Yeah, we do have enough scholars dying anyway, so. So, Seraph, come to the top floor and we'll finish you off with some fireworks. We start out with a fledgling imp. Play less sand on the top floor. Follow that up with a transcend imp. You get back all these things. Oh my god. This is gonna be nuts. You see this? Why didn't we get something like that a bit earlier? Well, this guy deals 5,000 damage. Almost, yeah, quite a bit more than that in one turn. At least we got an early boss kill, but it wasn't quite enough to get to the 50k. Still, we managed to breach the 48k. That's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. I think it was possible that we relied on the history of the world for too long. After the Transcendium, we might have been better off running a smaller floor. No, not really. All these units were important to our scaling. We couldn't leave out the Shardtail Queen or our imps wouldn't die. We couldn't leave out the Deranged Brute or Rage would be much less effective. And the Branded Warrior was the multi-strike unit we had. Maybe I should have gone with only a single unit other than the Queen, like the Deranged Brute with a multi-strike instead. That would have been pretty much just as good in terms of power, but a bit more flexible in terms of setup. Yeah, way too many two-turn boss rushes. But yeah, if we skipped on the Deranged Brute and on the Branded Warrior and went with the Deranged Brute with multi-strike instead, we could have... Well, we didn't know that back then, that there was a chance to get the Deranged Brute with multi-strike, so... I think History of the World was, at that time, the correct pick. Even though it's a bit less reliable in terms of scoring. Let's take a look at the Train Stewards deck. What do Train Stewards run these days? Went with the full Imparade. I can get behind that. Quick Draft. Obviously Transcend Imp, not Endless though. Found a One-Horn Storm. I guess that helps. What the fuck? Skipped all trials? They have an infinite to generate that gold. They must have had... Oh, it's a fake. It looks like a fake to me with a... They had a Wickless Tycoon. They had a consuming No. Impolate and Hornbreak. But not a consuming impressive or anything that could kill off your imps. Like if you can consume impressive and then bring it back with Transcend Imp, they can do some nutty stuff in theory. No, I think this is a cheater. I don't see a way to generate 10k gold in this deck. Sure, he could generate a lot of gold, but not that much. Didn't even take the draw relics. Right, they went with double Ember. That makes no sense at all. Yeah. Well, with this runtime, that's probably more legit. Space Prism? How did they get a Space Prism? I didn't get a Space Prism from the Umbra consumable event. I got a pack morsels. Why did they get a Space Prism? I feel robbed. The Endless Burnout, Transcend Imp, Full Imperate Queen, Large Branded Warrior with Quick. The Quick kind of makes sense, but I don't get the Large. Well, with 2 non-consuming Space Prisms, you can do stuff like that, I guess. 6-turn Boss Rush, 2. But a slightly better performance on other fights. Yeah, especially the Arcos one. Yeah, my Arcos performance was trash. I didn't even get a 3-turn Boss Rush. Maybe they just rolled luckier with the History of the World, if that's a thing. I mean, History of the World rolls make a huge difference. I don't really see what this guy has in his deck that makes it better than mine. I guess the Imperialist Chartel Queen can be... the Imperial Chartel Queen can be good, but... doesn't feel like he can scale as well as I did. Actually, maybe he can. But not that much faster that he could get the Arcos Boss Rush so easily. Well, this guy took 2 hours. That's a nice combo. So he went Imperate first and then Imperialist. That's ideal, pretty much. Similar units to mine, but went with a Large Stone or Branded Warrior, which I really didn't like. Railforger's Hammer. Looks like this guy was pretty limited on capacity, but he duped the Endless Transcending. Maybe I should have done so as well. Maybe I was a bit too... yeah, the Dripfall didn't do me much good in the end. But I had no way of knowing where the History of the World would strike. If you have Railforger's Hammer, you have much more information, and it's much easier to just dupe a Transcend Imp. He didn't even have Ascent, he only had Dripfall. Well, he was setting up on the bottom floor every time, so I guess that's okay. Okay. Yeah, we made a few questionable decisions that run, but I'm still satisfied with the results.